Right now at 6, we're hearing from the second accuser in the sexual assault case against a former Badger football player and texts she allegedly sent Quintez Cephas afterward.
And let the games begin. We're live from the CrossFit Games this morning ahead of 4 days of competition where a new fittest man and woman on earth will be crowned.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good Thursday morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this August 1st, the first day of a new month. And we're all kind of gearing up for our own camping trips because there's just beautiful weather out there.
All three of us.
Yeah, going camping. I'm wondering, Josh, how long until you ditch the campsite and book a Hampton Inn?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be interesting. I am not a camper whatsoever, but I'm headed with some friends to Michigan later today, actually.
So Hattie and I are. I've been bugging Josh to go camping with us for a while, and he, strict no. Doesn't like sleeping on the ground.
It's not that I love nature.
That's true.
I just like to have a climate-controlled bedroom to go back to in a nice bed and not a tent. So
It's okay,
buddy.
Josh. You picked a great weekend. The weather's perfect for any outdoor activities that you may have planned this weekend. Take a live look outside the WISC-TV sky cam. We have clear skies. Sun's up right now. We are looking at temperatures in the 50s as well. Once again today, a little bit of fog through the Wisconsin River Valley. Boscobel and Prairie du Chien have visibilities less than a mile, but elsewhere, fog's not an issue. Take a look at our current temperatures. We've actually dropped a couple of degrees here in Madison down to 53. It's also 53 in the Dells, 58 in Platteville, and 57 in Mineral Point. Temps will climb quickly this morning, though. Already by lunchtime, it'll be in the mid-70s. We're headed to highs in the low 80s this afternoon. Winds are going to stay very light through the day. Now here's a look at those traffic maps early this morning. No major issues showing up just yet. Just a few brake lights on Stoughton Road right around the Beltline. That's typical for this time of the morning. Your travel times heading into Madison from the surrounding communities still look normal for this time in the morning.
yeah, I'm hoping that it's more of a glamping adventure this weekend. And
I'm sure there will be stories.
Oh, I'm sure there
Can't
will be.
wait.
If I make it back, we'll see Monday morning.
Everyone follow Josh's Instagram because you know he's not going to put down his phone.
Well, I'm planning to. I'm going to try and...
You might not have
Come on,
service.
we need evidence.
I know, but...
He might not have service.
That's true.
That's true. I kind of hope I don't.
The real wilderness.
Yeah.
We'll see. Thanks, Hads.
You're welcome.
First this morning, the CrossFit Games are the ultimate proving grounds for the fittest on earth, male and female CrossFit athletes.
This is the third consecutive year the games are being held in Madison, and this year, history could be made. Christina Laurie joins us live from the site of the games this morning with everything we need to know. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning. So if you follow the world of CrossFit, Matt Frazier is the name to know. He's the 29-year-old athlete going for his fourth consecutive title of fittest man on earth. And if he achieves that this weekend here in Madison, he'll tie the all-time CrossFit record. That would be a really exciting feat. Here to talk about that is James Hobart. So he's just one of the big names competing here. What are his odds, do you think, of going for that title?
Looking at past wins and past competitions, I think Matt has a very good shot, but this weekend there's been some changes to competition. He's going to have his work cut out for him.
So you're part of what's called the demo team, where you actually test out all of these obstacles and events before the competitors do themselves. Why is that important?
It's important for a lot of reasons. You just want to make sure the tests are balanced as they fit to schedules, the layout as they look on the field or in certain venues. So there's a lot that happens, and the testing really begins, and the creations of next year's workouts really begin almost, the day after this competition ends. So it's a pretty long process, and it'll be nice to see it all come together today.
And even though competition begins today, the athletes, they don't know what they're going to be competing in yet. Why is that?
Yeah, some athletes do, some don't. The individuals do not know what they're going to be doing for their first event. And the biggest reason behind that, I think, is to just see have they prepared well enough throughout the season to put all of their skills on test here this weekend.
What do you think is the toughest competition people competing here will face?
In years past, I think some of the toughest competitions have been longer events where they've had to do a single thing for a prolonged period of time. Last year they had to row a marathon. I'm really interested to see what long event they'll have to do this year.
Okay, so you can always bet that there will be at least one long event to really challenge these competitors.
Typically there is something longer, yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, James. It's really exciting 4 days ahead for you and for all the athletes and fans that'll come out here to the Alliant Energy Center campus over the next 4 days. Today, opening ceremony at 9 o'clock. Doors open here at 8 a.m. Josh and Leah.
Christina, I kind of expected you to be out on that field doing some workouts this morning.
Yeah, come on.
Behind me at Zeus, that's the big rig where they climb up ropes.
Zeus.
Maybe I'll be hanging off there at 6:30.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
You're putting the bar pretty high for us, Christina. Thank you so much. We'll see you
won't
just
be.
after 6:30.
All right, 6:05 your time now. Breaking into the Channel 3000 Alert Center overnight, Madison police are looking for a woman who pulled a knife on a Hy-Vee employee. It happened at the location on East Washington Avenue just before midnight. Officers say that woman pulled that knife after being stopped for shoplifting. No one was hurt, but the woman did get away with stolen items.
Also new overnight, police are investigating a report of shots fired in downtown. Officers were called to the area of Willie Street and Blair Street just before 2 this morning after someone reported hearing gunshots. Police found shell casings in that area, but no injuries or property damage was reported. That incident is still under investigation. 6:06 is your time this morning, and we are going into day 3 of the Quintez Cephas trial today. We've now heard from both women accusing him of sexual assault.
Cephas faces 2 felony charges connected to an alleged incident in April of 2018. The second accuser says she was too drunk to consent that night. She said she didn't remember meeting Cephas at a bar or anything in the hours that followed. She recounted a phone call she had with her best friend, the first accuser, describing what happened and telling her to go to the hospital to have a rape kit performed.
I was in shock. I was just very, grossed out, and I just really didn't want to deal with it in the moment.
Cephas's lawyers questioned the woman about a short text conversation she later had with Cephas, where she used heart and kissing face emojis, and asked him if he had found her vaping device called a Juul. Cephas's lawyers argue the exchange indicates the sex was consensual. We are expecting to hear from Cephas's former teammate, Danny Davis, sometime this week.
A Janesville man will spend the next 15 years in prison after killing a second person while driving under the influence. Nathan Leopold was given the maximum sentence after causing the crash that killed a 70-year-old David Leck in 2017. He had already served time for a 2002 hit and run that killed a 28-year-old woman. Records show he was under the influence both times. And new right now, we're hearing from Leck's family outside of the courtroom. They say the punishment will help them move forward, but they'd like to see more done to prevent repeat offenders like Leopold.
I think that would be the next step, is to try to work toward making it stronger and making it more difficult for people to do something like this again.
More accountable.
Yeah.
Leopold will also serve 5 years extended supervision after his time in prison. Investigators in Missouri say they found human remains in their search for 2 missing Wisconsin brothers.
They've been searching on a farm near Bramer, Missouri for 35-year-old Nicholas Demel and his 24-year-old brother Justin. They've been missing since July 21st. The sheriff says those remains were found on a farm on Tuesday at the last place where the brothers were seen. The remains have not been identified as of this morning. No cause of death has been determined, and officers say this is still an active death investigation. Up in the Fox Valley, 2 brothers are hoping to do their part to help the Demel family. Chad and Brian Duncan own Grainworks in Hortonville. They're auctioning off this whiskey barrel patio table on their Facebook page and giving the proceeds to the Demels. The brothers had known one of those missing men since they were teens.
Another Fox Valley company is embroidering apparel with a special logo honoring the brothers. A friend designed it within the first few days of their disappearance. Hats, t-shirts, bracelets, and can koozies, and also window decals will be available through the weekend. All of that money from that will also be going back to the Demel family.
Almost 6:09 on your Thursday. We have now heard from 20 Democratic candidates after last night's second round of debates. Frontrunner Joe Biden took center stage, and he also took some heat over references to the Obama legacy.
You invoke President Obama more than anybody in this campaign. You can't do it when it's convenient and then dodge it when it's not.
Biden has faced criticism from his opponents for how he's voted on racial issues in the past, including some contentious moments with Senator Kamala Harris in the first round of debates. Biden addressed those concerns last night.
The fact is that we're talking about things that occurred a long, long time ago. And now all of a sudden, you know, I find it fascinating. Everybody's talking about how terrible I am on these issues. Barack Obama knew exactly who I was. He had 10 lawyers do a background check on everything about me on civil rights and civil liberties, and he chose me, and he said it was the best decision he made.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
I'll take his judgment.
Now looking ahead, some of the candidates might not return for the next debate come September if they can't drum up enough support or money to meet higher polling and fundraising requirements.
More local news now. Future plans for an airport in Middleton have people who live there concerned. A few months ago, we told you about Middleton beginning exploration for a master plan for the airport. Now residents living nearby are worried that could lead to an expansion that would take over their homes. The airport and city says that nothing has been decided yet, even though an expansion has made it into the master plan. But residents say they've noticed things the city has done that suggests otherwise.
I think there are a number of data points there historically in this process that show that they've been ramping up for this for quite some time. And so that leads the citizenry to believe that maybe there's a lack of transparency.
Richard Morey, the manager of the airport, says they want to keep the initial purpose of the airport, which is general aviation and light business aircraft. However, he says this is early in the process, so he can't make any guarantees on what will happen. The master planning process has stopped for now, but it's expected to pick back up in September.
Madison could soon see new cell towers and antennas as early as this week. Carriers like Verizon and AT&T are working to increase internet speeds and upgrade phone service to a 5G network. People opposed to those new towers say they expose folks to health hazards, but engineers have said that they have to meet health codes and FCC standards to be installed. You can read more from the city on those towers and how they're regulated up on the Channel 3000 mobile app.
It has now been 2 years since East and West Town malls implemented a youth escort policy, attempting to cut down on complaints about unruly teenagers. Since late July of 2017, mall visitors under 18 must have a parent or guardian who is at least 21 on Fridays and Saturdays after 4 p.m. or any other time the mall finds necessary. CBL Properties, which owns the mall, came up with the policy after Madison police told them they'd been responding to the malls often and wanted to improve safety.
We were responding to disturbances, loud fighting juveniles throughout the mall area, and we'd received complaints not only from the store owners but the citizens as well, just saying there's a volume of kids that are running loose in the malls.
Right now, our Maddie O'Neill is diving into whether the policy is working and how it's affecting area teens. You can watch her story tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
We are just a little more than a month away from the start of school, but one Madison business is already looking to help local kids get ready. Throughout August, you can take a new backpack with select school supplies to Sky Zone. In return for your contribution, you will receive a free 90-minute jump pass. All of the bags and supplies will be donated to Leopold Elementary. You can find a full list of school supplies that are needed. That's up on channel3000.com.
And as you're getting ready to get your kids back to school, the Better Business Bureau has some advice on how to shop smart. They suggest making a list and sticking to it to avoid impulse buys. You can also look through your house. You might be surprised at what you can find to be useful. Before buying the more expensive items like laptops or a dorm fridge, make sure you do your research so that you know you're getting the best deal. As with anything else, make sure to look for sales, ask for student discounts, and save your receipts.
School time already.
I know, that is just crazy.
Oh my goodness. All right, 6:13 on your Thursday. The U.S. Senate is honoring the firefighter killed during the Sun Prairie explosion. See what's being done to remember Corey Barr when News 3 Now this morning returns.
And good news when it comes to the forecast. This near perfect weather is going to continue into the weekend. We'll hear all about it coming up in Hattie's extended forecast. Stay with us.
Traffic.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. Here's a look at our high temperature trend going through the next 10 days. Looking pretty good for us. Temperature isn't going to move too much in any direction. So no big swings in the temps. It will climb a little bit this weekend to highs in the mid 80s, then drop back into the upper 70s as we head towards the end of next week, but remaining pretty close to normal for this time of the year. High pressure is in control and it's just been parked across the Great Lakes region. It will slowly begin to move to the east. As it does, some of the moisture and cloud cover that we see through the Central Plains will start to work its way eastward through the weekend. So here's a look at those dew point numbers. We've been very comfortable. Dew points in the 50s. They are starting to climb though. Take a look at Bismarck, a dew point of 63 degrees, 61 in Sioux Falls. So starting to get a little bit more humid through the central part of the country. And again, as that high pressure moves slowly to the east, our humidity levels will slowly creep up this weekend. A live look from the WISC-TV sky cam though, not a cloud in the sky this morning. Skies are clear. No huge issues with fog, but we still have reduced visibility in a couple of spots. Boscobel and Prairie du Chien reporting visibility less than a mile at this time. Sunshine should take care of that fog pretty quickly this morning. It's a little cool out this morning. 47 in Black River Falls, 53 in the Dells, 53 here in Madison. Janesville's just a little bit warmer with 55 degrees this morning. No wind though, so a nice comfortable start to the day. As we go through the day, take a look at your future track forecast model, starting with temperatures in the 50s, but quickly warming through the 60s. Already by lunchtime today, we're looking at mid to even upper 70s in some locations. Note the lack of cloud cover today. Skies are expected to stay mostly sunny through the day, with high temperatures reaching the low 80s. If you have plans this evening at 7 o'clock, temperatures will still be in the mid to upper 70s with clear skies and light winds. So gorgeous evening setting up. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. We will start out in the 50s tomorrow morning. We're looking at temperatures climbing into the 80s though as we head through the upcoming weekend. Temperatures will climb or will stay in the mid 80s, just that slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm late Saturday into Saturday afternoon. Otherwise, the next best chance for rain comes late Monday into Tuesday. Here's a look at your First Alert traffic maps this morning. We'll send it over to Josh Tim for all the details. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, it is a quiet start on the Beltline so far. Really nothing to slow you down in heading in either direction at this point. Other roads here in Dane County not looking too bad at the moment, but it is starting to pick up on Verona Road between Highway PD and the Beltline. That's going to add a few minutes to your drive time. No issues downtown around campus. I would plan on things getting busier over the next hour or so. And other main routes heading into the city, they're cruising along at the usual speeds. With your First Alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you very much, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. Governor Evers is calling for faster service at DMVs across Wisconsin. The goal is to help 80% of their customers within 20 minutes. But back in 2018, nearly 25% of customers waited longer than that. WPR reports since Governor Evers ordered the Department of Transportation to make a plan to expand service center hours, the DMV has not hired extra staff, which could make that goal a little tricky. The DMV did meet it, though, in the first quarter of 2019, servicing about 80% of customers within 20 minutes.
And back at the state capitol, a conservative group is challenging Governor Evers' veto power. The conservative law firm Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty is filing a lawsuit challenging partial vetoes that Governor Evers made in the state budget. The governor says it's another way conservatives are trying to limit his power following his victory over Scott Walker last year.
The conservative majority on Wisconsin's highest court will officially expand later today. Brian Hagedorn will be sworn in as the state's newest Supreme Court justice, giving conservatives a 5-2 advantage on the court. He'll be filling the seat of Shirley Abramson, the state's first female justice and longest-serving justice on the court. She had decided not to seek re-election as she fights cancer.
Sun Prairie's post office will now officially be named after fallen firefighter Corey Barr. It's located near the Misty Meadow Park. Barr died last July while responding to a gas leak in downtown. Senators Tammy Baldwin and Ron Johnson introduced the legislation in April. That designation passed in the U.S. Senate yesterday. Barr's widow, Abby, told News 3 Now that news made her day.
Good for her.
6:21 is your time this morning. Coming up, a convenience store robbery gone terribly wrong for the robber, that is. We'll see how his plot was foiled coming up next.
And we are running out of ways to talk about just how beautiful this weather is. Oh, look at that. No secret, just looking outside. A gorgeous sunrise.
Love it.
We are not complaining, folks. Hattie's continuing her warm and sunny streak when News 3 Now This Morning returns. Welcome back, folks. We're looking at a pretty empty Vilas Zoo right now. You just missed the polar bear kind of walk out of the camera. Where'd he go?
Sauntered out.
Buddy.
He gone.
Camera shy.
You should have seen him. He was just laying down. Just total chill
nice
Thursday.
close-up shot of him, but
If he only knew we were creeping in on him every morning.
What a very rough life.
Oh, wow.
we're gonna start paying him.
Speaking of rough, bad puns this morning, huh?
It is. Well, you know, the weather's been so quiet for so long. We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel to try and find different ways to talk about it. Let's show you temperatures this morning. We are in the 50s in most spots, 53 in the Dells and here in Madison. Monroe is the exception at 60 degrees this morning, but a nice cool start to the day. Certainly doesn't feel like the first part of August. Take a look at these dew point numbers in the low to mid 50s through the day. So that means you're not going to have any issues with humidity today. Your future track temperatures as we go from the morning by 9 o'clock already in the upper 60s today. We'll be in the mid 70s by lunchtime, topping in the low 80s in most locations. So just a very pleasant afternoon. As we go through the evening hours, temperatures will be slow to drop through the 70s. Overnight, we'll bottom out once again in the 50s. That extended forecast still calls for dry weather through Friday. Slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm on Saturday, only about a 20% chance. Next best chance for rain Monday night into Tuesday. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Hattie. A Maryland man is facing charges after a would-be robbery was caught on camera.
In a convenience store, a father and son were checking out when a man with a gun attempts to rob the store, and watch what happens next. This is crazy video. Paul Shad reaches for the attempted robber's gun and fights him out into the parking lot. The would-be thief breaks free from the fight and runs away, but it didn't stop there, folks. Paul's father gets in his truck and follows the man, corners him in the alley, and calls the police.
Boy, what a scary situation. I don't think that we are recommending folks do this.
I know, yeah, police are always like, in those situations, that you're not supposed to do something like that.
Wow, all caught on camera, too. That's nuts.
But there are some crazy times where you see something like this, where he saved the day.
Boy, look at that.
That's intense. I can't imagine being like a bystander in that situation either.
For real. Well, glad he was arrested.
Glad he was arrested, and yeah, we do not condone that act, folks. Do not give in to those people. All right, 6:27 is your time this morning, and still ahead for us, we've got the top 3 things you need to know before you head out the door on a Thursday morning.
And we have been talking about it all week. It's finally here, folks. Game time for the CrossFit Games. Christina Laurie has an inside look at what to expect. She might be doing a couple moves herself. We'll check in on her when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
Let the games begin.
from the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for staying with us on this Thursday, August 1st.
What?
That's crazy. That's weird saying that.
The summer has just flown by, Hattie.
It really is.
Just a few weeks left for the kids before they head back to school. I know we already did back to school shopping, so.
So you're probably happy, aren't you?
No, summer's a lot of fun, so I don't want to see it end. I love the season.
For now, maybe 3 weeks will be different.
That's true.
All right, we'll check in with Hattie and our forecast here in just a little bit.
First, though, let's tell you about the 3 things you should know to start your Thursday. Officers in Missouri say they have found human remains in their search for 2 missing Wisconsin brothers. The sheriff says those remains were found on a farm at the last place where the brothers, Nicholas and Justin DeMel, were seen. The remains haven't been identified as of this morning. Police say it is still an active death investigation.
Up next this morning, 20 Democratic candidates have now had the chance to speak to the nation. Candidates battled over their plans should they be elected during the second presidential debate in Detroit last night. The one thing everyone agreed on, criticism of President Trump, with many saying that impeachment proceedings should happen immediately.
The third story we're following this morning, CBS News reports Hamza bin Laden, the son of Osama bin Laden, has died. He was killed in a military operation, though it's not clear when or where that operation took place. Hamza was reported to be in either Pakistan or Afghanistan. He was the eventual heir to the leadership of al-Qaeda.
All right, 6:32 right now. Those were the top 3 things you need to know. Now we're going to go to our Mom of the Year, Hattie McClain, who's already on top of those school supplies.
I don't know. Well, the jury is out on that right now. I can tell you about the weather, though. Take a live look from Platteville, thanks to our Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam. Skies are clear this morning. We're waking up to temperatures in the 50s. A little bit of fog through the Wisconsin River Valley with visibility down to a 1/4 mile in Boscobel, 1/2 mile in Prairie du Chien. Temperatures, though, are in the 50s. Oh, now at 49 in Watertown, so a little cool in some spots. Should be a quick warm-up, though, as you head out the door. Don't forget the sunglasses. Today's forecast earns a perfect 10 in my book. Sunshine through the day with highs in the low 80s this afternoon. Let's take a look at those traffic maps early this morning. We'll see what's happening on the roads here in and around Madison. No major delays showing up just yet. It is getting a little busier inbound on Park Street. Nothing to slow you down too much just yet, though. Your drive times still looking pretty normal as you head into the city. And that's your First Alert traffic.
All right, Hattie, thank you very much. First this half hour, let the games begin. Competition at the 2019 CrossFit Games starts at 9 o'clock this morning.
And ahead of that, our Christina Laurie is getting a first-hand look and a walkthrough of the grounds this morning. Hi, Christina. How's it going?
Hi, Josh and Leah. The CrossFit Games are really a city-wide operation with restaurants, businesses, event spaces all getting into the action. But the main action happens here at the Alliant Energy Center. We're in the athlete warm-up area this morning. And back to talk about what the athletes have to go through is Jamie Patrick from the Madison Area Sports Commission. Thanks for talking to us yet again. So this year, the field of competitors really expanded. How many are out here this year?
Absolutely. We went from 32 countries to 114 countries represented here in Madison. So the first competition begins today at about 10:30. Competition 75 will not go on. It's going to be kind of like golf, right? Like you have to make the cut to keep advancing. So there's something different every day to see. So get out early and get out often.
So it's a big cut right away. Some of these athletes that traveled as far as Syria, they might get cut after day 1?
Absolutely. So they may see extra time. You might see them around town a little bit more this year. So be extra nice to them as, you know, their dreams might be dashed, but it's going to be a great experience. We've got so much going on in the city.
And if you're not competing and you want to come out here to the games, what is the best day to come to the Alliant?
Every day there's something different, but maybe I would start with Saturday or Friday, but there's Ragnar Relay going on. There's the expo, different stuff, demos that you can take part in, all kinds of participation activities. And then Sunday is obviously the finals when they will crown the fittest man and fittest woman on earth.
And the predictions are Matt Frazier?
Yeah, it's hard not to go with Matt Frazier and, you know, maybe Tia Claire Toomey to three-peat.
Okay, for the women's, because they're going to crown the fittest man and the fittest woman on earth. Thank you so much for talking to us, spending the morning with us. It's a really exciting 4 days of competition that begin today, 9 a.m. opening ceremonies. And if you're coming out here to the games, be sure to download the CrossFit app. It's a full event guide, so you know the exact times and events that everything is happening.
I plan to be out there myself. You gonna head out?
No, I'm going out of town camping.
Oh yeah, Josh
Otherwise,
leaves
I would
early. Christina, Lori, you interested?
If Josh wasn't camping, we know he would be competing.
That's
Let's
true.
just be honest, right?
That's true.
I wouldn't be competing, I would be winning.
Fittest on News 3 Now. Wait, is that true?
I don't know. No, you would beat me. Mic drop.
Christina, Lori, thank you very much.
All right, the State Fair is an affair for the whole family to enjoy.
Oh yeah, and it starts today. Coming up, we've got to look at how much it's going to cost this year. You are watching News 3 Now this morning. We thank you for that. We will be right back. All right, you're taking a look at our My News 3 morning photo sent in by Jerry of a county road up in Boston. Love this photo. You can't really tell, but that's a farm in the background.
Is it a farm?
I think so.
No, it is.
Now you have me questioning it.
No, it is a farm. I just know that you really love the farm pictures.
I always pick the farm pictures.
You always do, especially when they have a silo and it looks like a little one back there.
Hey, but check out that sunrise. It's beautiful.
That is a beautiful sunrise, and we've had a lot of great ones this week. Just taking them all in.
Keep them coming, folks. Thank you so much for sharing this one, Jerry.
If you've got a photo you'd like to share, all you have to do is send it over to our social media and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning.
Feel free to be sending those photos in from the Wisconsin State Fair, folks, because today is the first day, and between the rides, food stands, animal tents, and entertainment, a lot of work is poured into that event.
Which means there were a lot of people who came together to make it all happen. Fair organizers say this week has been very busy, but very exciting. They've been working year-round to get the fair ready, but everything actually came together this week. The event runs for 11 days, starting today with some new events like a rodeo on Saturday night.
Ooh, love that. It's going to cost you $6 to get into the fair before noon and $9 afterwards. Kids 6 and 10 and under rather, are free. You can also buy a season admission pass for $25. I go every single year. This is the first year I'm not going to be going.
And I haven't been to the Wisconsin State Fair yet, so
it's
this is
amazing.
on my bucket list.
Always have great country music, the animals, obviously the cream puffs, all the fried stuff on a stick. Pam was saying fried milk on a stick this year.
Oh my gosh. It is like the best time of the year. Growing up in Minnesota, we went to the Great Minnesota Get Together every year. It's just kind of fun to get together with your community. So.
County fairs are really a lifestyle in the Midwest
really
for
is.
sure. All right, speaking of the fair, Hattie's got some pretty fair weather in the extended forecast.
See
like
what you
that
did
pun?
there.
Oh yeah.
Live look outside this morning. An incredible start to this Thursday. She'll have her extended forecast coming up after the break. But first, it is August 1st. August 1st, holy cow. We want to say happy birthday to Mateo and all the other kids turning 3 today.
Hi, buddy.
Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. We'll be right back.
Look who's
Beautiful, beautiful start to your Thursday, overlooking the Mendota Terrace, rather, the Union Terrace. Couple of sailboats out there just waiting to be used.
The lakes have been like glass this week because we haven't had much wind, which has been kind of a nice change.
Perfect, perfect weather to go out there, get yourself a pitcher of beer, maybe a cheeseburger.
Sounds pretty good. Hattie, where's our food at? I feel
After 5.
Some Babcock, maybe?
Your job has been so easy this week, I think you should be feeding us.
Oh, you think I should be making the food run?
Is that how that works?
That picture looks like it could be a postcard this morning. Just a beautiful shot. Just as nice. Here's the Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam in Platteville. Clear skies there as well. Now, if your plans include the state fair this weekend, take a look at this forecast. Does it get any better? I don't think so. Temperatures in the mid 80s for the most part through the weekend in West Allis. You can see lots of sunshine, no rain in the forecast. Maybe the only thing to consider is that there won't be much of a wind either. So it's going to feel pretty warm this weekend with all those folks over in West Allis. But a great forecast for the start of the state fair. Taking a look at the country as a whole, things are pretty quiet out west. Not a lot of rain showing up this morning. Still, the path of precipitation has been south-southeast through the central part of the country around a large area of high pressure in the Great Lakes. Still a little stormy in Florida, parts of the mid-Atlantic region today, but no flight delays showing up on any of the major airports at this hour. So if today is your escape day, looking good early this morning. Here's your travel forecast for today. Again, pretty nice out west. Warm in Salt Lake City, though. Partly sunny, 92 degrees. Topping the triple-digit mark in Phoenix. Staying pretty warm through the south as well. Much of Texas close to triple-digit heat. The rain is in Florida, up through the mid-Atlantic region today, but I think the best weather in the country is right where we are. Might be a little biased, but it's pretty darn nice. Sunshine, low humidity, and pleasant temperatures. Weather track showing you that large area of high pressure just sitting over the Great Lakes region. Moisture is starting to build to the west, though, and eventually, as this area of high pressure moves off to the east, we'll start to see our dew point increase a little bit through the weekend. A live look from the WISC-TV sky camera, though, this morning. Skies are clear. We're looking west of the station. No clouds in the area. Still a little bit of fog. It's been pretty consistent through just the river valley this morning, but visibility is now down to a quarter mile in Prairie du Chien as well as Boscobel. So be aware of that fog early this morning. Temperatures are still falling in some spots through the 50s. 53 here in Madison, 55 in Janesville. Watertown now back up to 51, though. They were in the 40s last hour. Our winds will stay light through the day, but look at the lack of cloud cover that we have on future track. Lots of sunshine through the day. Temperatures already in the mid 70s by lunchtime. Our highs will be just a little bit warmer than that. This afternoon, you're looking at 80s for the region. Temperatures through the evening hours, again with mostly clear skies, will be pretty slow to drop through the 70s. By 10, though, we'll be back in the 60s. Another comfortable overnight low tonight, 58 degrees, 83 tomorrow with sunshine. Still have that slight chance for rain in the forecast Saturday afternoon, but I've actually pushed back the rain chance on Monday until Monday night into Tuesday. Just a nice forecast coming up. Here's our pet walk forecast. Scooter in Madison.
Honey.
80 degrees. Look at tongue out there just a little bit.
Scooter looks like he's out playing in the sand or the P-Rock out there.
Maybe at the playground.
Nice day to be doing that.
Yeah,
really
anything
nice
outside
day.
today.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 Now this morning. But first, here's Tony DeCopel with what's coming up on CBS this morning. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, presidential candidate Bernie Sanders joins us. We'll get the Vermont senator's take on his Democratic rivals and his response to the attacks on Joe Biden during last night's debate. Plus, from college to Congress in our More Perfect Union series, how one organization is helping low-income students afford unpaid internships on Capitol Hill. We'll see you at 7.
6:51, time for the morning sprint with the most local news to start out your Thursday.
We begin this morning with what's new into the Channel 3000 Alert Center overnight. Madison police are investigating a report of shots fired in downtown. Officers were called to the area of Willie Street and Blair Street just before 2 this morning after someone reported hearing gunshots there. Police found shell casings in the area, but no injuries or property damage was reported. That incident still under investigation this morning.
Also new this morning, police are looking for a woman who pulled a knife on a Hy-Vee employee. It happened at the Hy-Vee on East Washington Avenue just before midnight when that woman was stopped for shoplifting. No one was hurt, but the woman did get away with stolen items.
At the Quintez Cephas trial, we've now heard from both women accusing him of sexual assault. The second accuser says on April 22, 2018, she was too drunk to give consent. She said she didn't remember meeting Cephas at a bar or anything that followed. Cephas's lawyers questioned the woman about a short text conversation she later had with Cephas, where she used heart and kissy face emojis.
A Janesville man will spend the next 15 years in prison after killing a second person while driving under the influence. Nathan Leopold received the maximum sentence after causing the crash that killed the 70-year-old David Leck in 2017. He had already served time in 2002 for a hit and run that killed a 28-year-old woman. Records show he was under the influence both times.
Investigators in Missouri say human remains have been found in the search for 2 missing Wisconsin brothers. The remains were found on a farm near Bramer, Missouri, the last place where the brothers Nicholas and Justin Diemel were seen. The remains haven't been identified as of this morning. Police say it is still an active death investigation.
And we start this morning with a little bit of fog through the Wisconsin River Valley, where visibility is at a quarter of a mile. Not a widespread issue, though, for the rest of the region. Temperatures today starting in the 50s, climbing quickly through the 60s into the 70s, and even low 80s later on this afternoon.
Let the games begin. The CrossFit Games kick off at 9 o'clock here at the Alliant Energy Center. And here are 3 things to know before you go. First, there are 4 jam-packed days full of competitions. Day 1 starts with 148 men, 134 women, which will be slashed in half to 75 athletes after just the first event. Second, if you're not an athlete, there's still plenty to do, see, and eat. You can find special menus happening both at the Alliant and around town this weekend up on our website, channel3000.com. And third, history could be made at the Sears Games. Reigning champ Matt Frazier is back, and he's hungry for that 4th title. If he gets it, he'll tie the all-time record and become the fittest man in history.
Exciting. Christina, thank you. 20 Democratic candidates have now had the chance to speak to the country. At the second presidential debate in Detroit last night, candidates argued who would have the best chance of beating President Trump. Many of the candidates said impeachment proceedings against the president should begin immediately.
The conservative majority on Wisconsin's highest court will expand later today. Brian Hagedorn will be sworn in as the state's newest Supreme Court justice, giving conservatives a 5-2 advantage on the court. He'll be filling the seat of Shirley Abramson, the state's first female justice and longest-serving justice on the court. She decided not to seek re-election as she fights cancer.
Sun Prairie's post office will now be named after fallen fire captain Corey Barr. It's located on Linderud Drive near Misty Meadow Park. Barr died last July while responding to a gas leak in downtown Sun Prairie. Senators Tammy Baldwin and Ron Johnson introduced the legislation in April. That designation passed in the U.S. Senate yesterday.
Madison could soon see new cell towers and antennas later this week. Carriers like Verizon and AT&T are working to increase internet speed and upgrade phone service to a 5G network. Most people opposed to the new cell towers say they expose people to health hazards, but engineers say they have to meet health codes and FCC standards to be installed.
CBS News is reporting this morning Hamza bin Laden, a son of Osama bin Laden, is dead. He was killed in a military operation. It's not clear when or where that operation took place, although Hamza was reported to be in either Pakistan or Afghanistan. He was the eventual heir to the leadership of al-Qaeda.
New sexual assault charges are being filed as the state works through their rape kit backlog. 9 people have been charged so far, and for survivors, it means the end of a long wait. Attorney General Josh Kaul says out of the thousands of backlog kits, more than 1,600 had DNA that didn't belong to the victim, triggering a follow-up investigation.
A conservative group is challenging Governor Evers' veto power. The conservative law firm Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty is filing that lawsuit, challenging partial vetoes that the governor made in the state budget. Governor Evers says it's another way conservatives are trying to limit his power following his victory over Scott Walker last year.
The Milwaukee Brewers wrap up their series against the Oakland A's today after a busy trade deadline. They got off to a hot start last night with Lorenzo Cain leading off the game with a home run. New pitcher Jordan Lyles made his debut and pitched well, allowing just a single run over 5 innings while striking out 4. Josh Hader picked up the save in the 9th inning to secure a 4-2 win. The Brewers will go on for the series win this afternoon. First pitch, 2:37.
All right, 6:56 your time now. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a look at your first alert traffic. Hey, Josh.
Good morning, guys. Picking up on the westbound side of the Beltline now between Stoughton Road and West Broadway. That's going to add a couple minutes to your usual drive time. John Nolan tapping the brakes on the inbound side at Olin Avenue and then again at North Shore Drive as you move into the downtown Madison area. Other main routes, including the interstate heading into the city, they're cruising along at the usual speeds. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you very much, Josh.
And it's Thursday morning, another beautiful start across southern Wisconsin. Picture perfect view from the Edgewater Skycam early this morning. Sunshine is expected to stick around through the day with temperatures climbing to highs in the low 80s this afternoon. We're looking at very quiet conditions then continuing through the rest of the week into the upcoming weekend. Just a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm as we head to Saturday afternoon, but otherwise things looking pretty good.
All right, Josh, pretty nice weekend for one of your first camping trips ever.
Wish me luck, ladies.
Fingers crossed for you.
All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. Leah and Hattie will see you back here tomorrow. Make it a great day.
Bring your